welcome to another episode on Project 450 SL. We've got it all today, guys. Explosions. We've got a new invention, the world's biggest Q-tip, patent pending, and
Also, she needs a little buffing. Yeah, let's just buff right out. And today, I noticed this. That is a shiny puddle of red.
so grab a seat, grab some popcorn, because it's going to be a real nail biter.
I'll give you a quick tour of the car where we're at right now. We have not got it running. We haven't even tried. This is how it looks now after we did the pressure washing and decontamination of all the previous mousy residents that lived in it. There's the V8, of course. So one of the first things we want to do today is to check out the fuel system, because if you remember, this car hasn't run for 9 years. So we're going to take a look inside the tank, or rather I am, I guess. Matt had to go to work today. We're going to go inside the fuel tank, hopefully with my borescope be able to see what it looks like in there. If not, then the other, cleaned up pretty good in here. The other way is under that cover. That's where the fuel sending unit is, and I have a socket big enough to remove that, and we can probably just look right inside the tank, which may be an easier way to go here. The tank is behind this wall here. It's not hard to get out, apparently, but I mean, if it's spotless in there for whatever reason, you know, if we got lucky, then why take it out? I don't anticipate that we're going to be that lucky. It's been parked for 9 years, so a lot of time for moisture to get in there, but we'll see. Also, she needs a little buffing. Yeah, let's just buff right out. And today, I noticed this. I don't know if you guys can pick that up. That is a shiny puddle of red, which, I don't know, I don't know if you guys will be able to take a look and tell me what's going on. But I suspect something from the transmission is leaking. It certainly looks like tranny fluid. Which is funny because at the guy's house where it was parked for 9 years, the garage floor was completely dry. So yeah, figure that one out. Oh well. I'm going to get set up here with the borescope, powered up, and then take you guys down to the tank with me and see if we can see anything. If not, we're going through the other inspection port. I brought a bunch of empty jerry can stuff so we can pump the gas out, because for sure that's going to have to come out. 9-year-old gas isn't the thing to run in a fuel injected car. Well, or any car. Alright, I'm going to get set up and I'll get back with you guys. Okay guys, I don't know if this is going to pick up that well on camera. Here's the end of the fuel filler neck going into the tank. So that is the bottom of the tank. Let me see if I can rotate this at all. Don't see or hear any liquid, to be honest. No. It's going to be impossible to get a good look in there. Can't steer the tip of this thing to where I want to see anything. But did pick up a little bit of rust on the tip here. So, yeah. We're gonna go ahead with plan B then, and pull that sensor cover out and pull the sensor out, and then we'll go from that direction. Okay, let's see if we can get this cover out of here. Oh. How does this come out? It's got to just pry out. There we go. Electrical connector. Oh, really clean. It's in good shape. Let's tuck this back there. So, substantial nut in there. I think on a forum they mentioned 46 millimeters, so I'll go ahead and go find a socket, see if I can get something that fits. Okay, well obviously this is going to be metric, but 1 13/16 fit. I don't have any metric sockets this size. I guess this being a 79, it's got the newer style sender with the O-ring. Some of the older ones, I think it'd be like 476 or something, had a glue in, like epoxy type cork gasket. So I don't know if I would be doing this with one of those unless I had everything handy to re-glue that back in. But that definitely sounded squeaky like an O-ring. Well, the sender moves, that's a good sign. A little bit of signs of moisture on there, but the thing's dry, so at least down to there it's got no fuel. Let's keep the O-ring together here. It stayed on, of course. Let's tuck this wire out of the way a little bit. Let's see if we can see anything down in there. Well, yeah, there's a little something in there. Let me see if I can grab a light. Well, I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, but there's quite a few floaties. I think we'll yeah. Not much fuel though. I'm gonna see if I can get a closer look here. Put the camera down for a minute and see if I can come up with an idea. Okay, came up with a simple little swab test, and no, this is not a torch. Don't get scared. I'm gonna just dip this down into the bottom. See what it looks like. Let's get stirred up a bit and see what the stick comes out like. Wow. Actually, I am actually quite surprised. That doesn't look that bad. I thought for sure we were going to come up with a bunch of rust and mud. get a little wider sample base. 0 chunks. Well, that's actually surprising. So, moral dilemma now. Does a guy go ahead and remove the tank? Do we just remove the line at the bottom, drain whatever's in there, then get a better look inside? Maybe that might be the way to go. I believe it's fairly easy to drain. This is the fuel pump, fuel filter back here. So that line on the end of the damper is what we'd have to pop off, which isn't a big deal. I think just to get the rest of that dirty stuff out of there, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yep. I'll go grab some jack stands, get the at least back of this car up a little bit higher so I can work in here, and then I will get back here with you guys. Hey, okay, so you know sometimes you just lay under the car staring at the problem, hoping it solves itself, or you know, it might look easier 20 minutes later. Well, that's what happened here. So I've been staring at this for a while. This is what it's looking like. This is the line coming down from the tank. The supply line goes into this fuel damper, which is just a stainless steel housing. Then it goes off here into the pump, the filter, and out to the front to the engine. Actually, sorry, no, there's also a fuel accumulator up here. But this here is probably the right place to undo it. But if I'm going to try to pull this back and pull this down, I may damage this line. I don't right now have a replacement. And it looks like it's got a factory compressed fitting up there at the tank end. Up here. So I don't want to mess with that necessarily at this moment. So I think I might actually just separate it here at this clamp, because then I can easily pry in here, and there's slack. All these lines curve, so there'd be the greatest amount of slack available is probably to undo this and pull this off the pump. Fuel should come down that line into the damper and shoot out this way. So I'll just put a drain pan underneath here to catch it. So I think that's going to be the plan. I'm going to get set up here with a drain plan and try to take this apart and see what comes out. It's probably going to stink like nothing else and be a little bit darkish looking fuel, but other than that I think it'll be not bad. Should be able to catch it in the pan. Alright, I'll get set up here. Okay, we got the drain pan ready. Let's see what happens. Guy's going to want to get some of this fuel line anyways and replace this, so if I can't get this off I might just cut it. Oh yeah, it's coming apart. Okay, here comes the fun. Well, that was somewhat non-climactic. Expected more. Very little fuel came out of there actually. Okay. Well, maybe we can try looking at the top of the tank with a borescope. See what that looks like. I think there's actually a strainer above this line, which I'm not going to be able to get out unless I take the tank out. There's not enough room for a socket there. So we'll go up top and have a peek. Okay guys, so I'm going to try to take you guys into the tank here with me. The camera. To get this bent the right way. Okay, so we're down in. It's difficult to move this probe where you want it because everything's inverted. A little bit of sediment there, but overall, I mean, geez, this thing's surprisingly clean. What I'm looking for is the actual, here we go. This is going to be where the strainer is. So if we can get a look inside there, that would be really good. Okay. Huh. It's actually intact. There's so many horror stories of these things just rotting out or being completely plugged. Can we get inside there? Which way we got a wheel here to get that to happen? Here we go. Wow. A few little chunks of rust. Not really enough to clog anything though. I'm really quite shocked. It'd be nice to get this flushed out of here, but unless I can pull this out from the bottom, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I just don't think there's enough in there to worry about it, actually, you know. We're just going to throw some fresh fuel in there. It's an original part number? I think it probably is. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say this tank's probably usable. It's not bad at all. So that means the next order of business then is going to be to flush the lines. So what I might do is unhook the supply and return lines here and at the tank and blow them out. That's probably going to be the easiest way. So I'm going to take this air cleaner off so we can get a good look underneath here and see which lines we're dealing with. And then underneath, the supply is fairly easy to take off at that accumulator. Above, I believe, is where it comes out. And then below, the return line's on the outside of the tank, so that's not too hard to get to either. So I think this will be pretty doable. Alright, I'll take this, get set up here to take this air cleaner off. Okay. Oh man. Yep, 9 years worth of fun. Finally, time to come off. I bet you forgot how even. Can't begin to tell you how much better it smells under here after the wash. Matt can attest to this, but it was pretty bad. Woo. Wow. Shockingly clean in here. Huh. It almost like somebody did a bunch of maintenance on this and parked it. 2007 of July is when this was made. Just gonna take this whole thing out of here. Hose on that side. Oh, well, disassembled itself. Not even too bad in here. A little bit of pine needles, but nothing much. I half expected to find a giant mouse nest in there, to be honest. Okay, things are not seized at first glance. This is a good thing. And this is, of course, the continuous injection system, so it relies on system pressure. I'll take you guys in here for a closer peek. So these are the injectors here, and normally on newer vehicles you would of course have an electrical connector on this to control when it fires. These older systems Mercedes had, and Volkswagen and Porsche, probably a lot of others, relied on just pressure, and then they have this guy here.
So this is the fuel distributor, so it distributes fuel to all the lines at the same time. So it's called a continuous injection system, CIS, and this distributor has a plunger in it that'll let fuel out of all these lines based on how much that air plate on the left there drops when the engine demands air fuel.
The fuel system in this is a lot higher pressure, so we're gonna have to really look out for leaks. Also, these injectors, they're actually, you can take them out and clean them because they're not electronic, so they're fairly easy to clean. You can usually just spray some carb cleaner through them or some seafoam through them and it'll loosen up most of the gum stuff. I've had pretty good luck with that. So we might actually get lucky there. We'll see. Yeah, as far as fuel system goes, this is going to be the warm-up regulator here. So, just looking for a good place so we can take this apart to flush the lines. I believe this is the supply and this is the return. I could be wrong. I might have those backwards. I'll have to look that up, I guess. So that's probably our best bet, is to disconnect the other end under the car, put it into a jug of some kind, or my little overflow jug I have. and then more leftover mouse goodies, and then blow through with air until they're clean. And then once that's cleaned out, we'll put some fresh fuel in the tank. Actually, we might have to disconnect one other spot because we're not going to be able to flush the fuel pump out that way, but most of the fuel I think should have drained out of that anyway. So, and the filter is of course a filter, so we can try to disconnect from the front of the car at the accumulator, dump that line, and then we'll just have a little bit of yellowy fuel there, but it should just cycle through here and back to the tank return and dilute with the rest of the fuel. It's not going to make it into the engine if we can just force the pump to run without trying to fire this. The other thing we want to do before we turn it over on its own, that is take all these spark plugs out. I did get some fogging oil. After 9 years, those cylinders are going to be dry. There's no doubt about it. So we're going to take those out, fog the cylinders. Looks like fairly easy access. This side, that expansion tank's probably going to get in the way. I'm probably going to have to move that. I'm going to have to get a new one of these. If you guys know where you can still get those, that's just the way it goes, I guess. It's missing the pump? That's strange. I don't think these had two pumps. Maybe that's just... I don't know if it had headlight washers or is there supposed to be another pump here? It's got one pump there. More mysteries. And we should probably see if this thing will even turn over. That would be a good idea. I might be able to get something on this bolt here and test that. We should probably do that. Okay, this may or may not work. Oh, we're in neutral. Moved a little bit and then stopped. Why is that? It's probably not a good sign, is it? Just turns over a little bit. And that's it. That is not good. So we'll probably have a nice dry spot on the rings. So we'll definitely be taking these spark plugs out and putting some lubricant in there. Actually, maybe lubricant. We want it to turn over. So, yeah. Back to the fuel system. Let's not get too sidetracked here. Okay, if any of you chaps are lucky enough to work on one of these systems, and I'm kidding, I've got my brake line type wrench on the return line. So I was right. This is the return line off the driver's side of the fuel distributor. The feed line is the one here. And both of these go down here, down back to the tank. So I'm going to crack both these lines. Return. And feed. Huh. Seems somebody's already been here because as you can see, there's supposed to be a bolt there to hold that down. There's a hole there. And no bolt. It's always fun. Maybe it's nothing, but you never know. Yeah, as you can see, this is supposed to be bolted down there, but it doesn't look too bad in there. I probably want to take a Q-tip. I think there's actually a little filter in here too. We should probably pull and have a look at. It's hard to really see anything in there. I mean, it looks pretty clean. Let's check the return. Nothing. Oops, sorry. Probably getting you guys all dizzy here. Nothing too gummy looking. Okay, well, that's good. So now we need to go to the back of the car and undo these two lines at the back. So I'll get situated under there and take you guys back there with me too. Back to the fun half of the car. Okay, so we're back under the back of the car. This is the driver's side. So this here is the return line back to the tank. So I'm gonna take it apart here where it enters the tank. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, I am. I was going to say we should blow through the line and check that it's not clogged up the tank, because that happens sometimes, but this tank's not rusty. And also, if there is a bunch of crap in here, I don't want to end it in the tank. So what we'll do is 2 steps. We'll blow through it so we can get air through it, then we'll hook it back up and try blowing through it again and make sure we can blow into the tank. I really should have grabbed a socket for this, not a straight screwdriver, but you know. Nobody ever accused me of having bad hindsight. Come on off, little buddy. You know you want to. Okay. There we go. Okay. Alright, now that that's off, I'm going to go look for a compressor so we can blow that out of there. Hopefully this catches most of it. Sorry, Matt. Okay guys, I've got the compressor charged up here. This is the return line here. If you keep your eye on that, I'm gonna go blow some air into the other end and hopefully you guys will see something happen. Alright, here goes. Well, did you see anything? I'm sure you did, because there's gas on my camera and all over the ground out here. Sorry, Matt. That definitely blew a bunch of stinky shit out of there. Woo! Oh. You guys smell lovely now, I'm sure. Let's take you guys here to the front. Show you what I ended up doing. Sorry for all the wobbling. So here's the return line. I just put a piece of electrical tape over it just so I could get a good seal with the air wand. Otherwise, it just blew past it. you can actually hear air at the back of the car, so that actually worked pretty good. So that one's good. So now I guess what we should do is hook that back up, and I'll try blowing air through here again, make sure that we hear air in the tank. That way we know the tank's not plugged, because that's a common problem on the old girls. So I'll go connect that back up and come back. Okay, giving you guys a really important job. You listen for air coming out of the return line into the tank, so I can't hear both at the same time, so pay attention. Okay, here we go. Well, did you hear it? Pretty sure I did. So that is good news. So at this point, the tank's looking good. Return line's clear. So now we're just going to do the supply line. And there is a spot that's fairly easy to take off, it looks like, with a banjo fitting on the fuel filter down below. So I'm going to go under there and do that end, and then we can blow it out backwards so we don't end up with a big mess under the hood, because we're going to be trying to start this thing later and I don't want fuel all over the place in there. Sparking fuel isn't good when it's not supposed to be there. So I'm going to get underneath here and see if I can crack this line off. Okay, so this is the fitting here I'm thinking about taking off. On the filter itself. Oh, easy enough. Okay. So that's our supply line, and looks like it's just siphoning itself out of there, which it should, because we're disconnected at the front. Okay, I'll blow some air in the front and we'll see if anything else comes out. Well, I can tell by the gas dripping everywhere that something came out. All right. Excellent. So now that those are both clear, I'm just going to check if that's a little filter that's removable on the CIS unit up top on the distributor. If it is, I'll pull it out and see if it's clean and blow it out. And other than that, I think I'm going to hook the supply line back up here. Leave this off here still so we can put a little bit of gas in the tank and flush just the bottom part of it out. And then once that's done, we'll button this back up and put a little bit of fuel in the tank, clean fuel in the tank. And then we'll go on to removing spark plugs and fogging the cylinder so we can see if we can get this thing to turn over. By that I mean by hand, not with the starter. By the way, I found this rag tucked up under between the exhaust and where that spring is, you can see there. I don't know if that was somebody's brilliant idea to keep something from rattling, or some sort of insurance scam, because that's like 90% chance of catching on fire for sure, right on top of the exhaust. So glad I found that before I took this thing for too much of a drive or burnt down Matt's shop here. So interesting stuff you find when you crawl under cars, I guess. And who knows how long that was there. Probably wasn't even the last owner. It's probably a long time ago. Who knows? Anyways. So, I didn't want to chance that thing leaking by taking it apart at this very moment, but I took a picture with my camera and it looks pretty darn clean, that filter. So I'm just going to get some spray and spray it out of there, because that is a supply line. So we're looking at the catch side of the filter. So I'm going to go ahead and just blow that out. Okay, actually thought about it for 3 seconds, and shouldn't be cutting corners on the fuel system. If something isn't right, I'm going to question this little filter. So I'm going to pull it out and take a look at it. It's a 17 millimeter. I already got the wrench anyways. That's the clean side. There's the dirty side. I'm going to just blow something through there just to clean it up. Alright. What I got here is just the Seafoam Deep Creep. I find this works really good on fuel system stuff, which is it's a premium penetrating oil and lubricant. Loosens stubborn parts, cleans, protects metals, resists heat, evaporative, dries moisture, petroleum formula. This stuff works great on fuel systems. Yeah, a little bit of cruddy stuff coming out the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, it's so foamy, but does pass fuel, or well, spray, but will pass fuel. Yeah, some crap did come out into the bucket, just more or less just browny fluid rather than a bunch of gunk, but it sure looks pretty clean in here. One more shot. There we go. Should be good enough to put back together. Okay, now that we got that all blown out, I'm just going to give a quick shot into the supply line here too, or supply port. Because why not? Give it a shot of the good stuff right off the bat when it flows. Actually, I think what we're going to do is leave this off and run the fuel pump just to flush out anything from the accumulator. We don't want to get into the distributor here. So I'm going to be taking that guy back off when we're ready for that. Oh, okay. So now that that part's complete, I think honestly the next thing I'd like to do is dump some fresh fuel in there. I might hook the hose back up without the clamp, just so I can get a little bit of level of fuel in there, then pull it so it can hopefully siphon some of that crap out of there. And after that, we'll hook it up properly, put some fuel in it, and then see if we can get the fuel pump to turn so we can see if we can get fuel at the front. All right. All right, so the idea here is just to get maybe, I don't know, a gallon in here. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick peek inside there and see what that looks like now. Okay, so there's definitely fuel in the tank, so now what we're gonna do is pull this line back off and let that all, oops, sorry again, Matt. Let that all spill off and flush it one more time. If I can get this stupid thing to work. Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, here goes. That looks a little cleaner, eh? Yeah, it's looking much better. I actually thought this was going to come out all gross and yellow, to be honest. Tank really wasn't too bad. Let's let that drip off for a while. Oh crap, we've got a new development, guys. The line here going up to the tank cracked. So we're gonna have to take that off after all. I'm hoping we can do it without dropping the tank, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit. Lovely. Alright, so we're gonna take out the spark plugs here so we can go ahead and put the fogging oil in there. It's a good idea to label these just in case you get them mixed up here. It's a lot less work to figure out where they go, especially if you know your firmware is correct. I of course don't know, so I chased it all the way back from the distributor cap. They're labeled on there, and the way the cylinders are is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on this side. So I've already taken off the boots. Try to use a pair of pliers and grab the metal part of these boots. Don't go yanking on this, because if you pull the cable out of it, you're buying another boot. So I've got them all out successfully. And then I can go ahead and get the plugs out so we can inspect them and spray some fogging oil down the cylinders. I'm curious what these are going to look like, to be honest. Great. Didn't bring my magnetic one with me. Oy. Oof. Not great. She is been, well, that's just ugly. Running really rich. I don't know what, I guess this is probably just when it fell. But running really rich, it's all black, so we're gonna have to clean these up for sure. But Super Plus Bosch, these look old. WR8DC from Brazil. Yeah, pretty rich. Okay. I'm gonna try to keep these on order so I know which one was where in case one looks quite different than the rest. We can know we have a suspect cylinder to have a look at. I was running that rich. I wonder if the wonder how it ran for the last guy actually. I wonder if there was maybe some clogged injectors or something not set up right. He didn't really say how it ran for him. He didn't really ask that many questions. Christ, I have to put some tape in here before I wreck all these. Same thing, another pretty dark one. I'll be right back. I'm just going to put some electrical tape around a couple of these edges so it helps hold the spark plug in. So if you just got a poor set like these ones are, because I didn't order the good one for this job, put some electrical tape in there like that and it'll grab the plug nice and tight so you can pull it off without it dropping on the ground for you. I'll go ahead and pull the rest of these out and then we can have a look at them. Number 7. There's plug number 8. Looks a little bit better actually. Plug number 1, also not as rich running. I did scrape that by accident. A little black, not bad though. Number 2, much of the same. Number 3 tells the same story. And lastly, number 4, same again. So it was five and 7. 5, 7, and maybe 8 were looking fairly rich. So if we have any problems with any injectors, those might be the first ones to look at. Mind you, that was 9 years ago, so maybe not even relevant, but I don't know. It's always nice to read your plug and know what went where in case you got to look for something, I guess. But we're going to get some fogging oil ready here and I'll switch that into the cylinders and see how that gets in there, and then we'll try turning it over with the ratchet again. Okay, here's the fogging oil we got. It's just a local store brand, Motomaster brand. It says to spray 5 to 10 seconds through each spark plug hole. Luckily, I tried it. It seems to work upside down, so see if I can get some into each one of these. I don't really give you a very long straw, but see. Maybe I can shoot from far away. Yeah, seems to spray quite a distance at least, so that's good. Alright, I'll go spray the other side and I'll come back. Okay, now that we've got the oil in there, I'm gonna see if I can get it to turn over again here with the just using the ratchet on this pulley here. It might not. It might have to get worked back and forth a few times, but at least now we don't have compression fighting us, so. That did go backwards quite a ways here. I'll try the other way again here. I'm pretty sure we've gotten past that first point. Yep, that's got to be 2 revolutions by now. Okay. Well, that's awesome news. She seems to be free now. So, what do I want to do next? Ideally, I'd like to crank this over with the starter to see how the engine sounds turning at a higher speed. Get you guys out of the way here so we don't accidentally blow some oil into the camera. Because remember, we do have fogging oil down the cylinder, so that's going to want to fly out of here. So, let me go turn the booster pack on. And if we're lucky, we might even get a little gasoline out of here, so keep your eye on that too. We are hot. Okay. Let's see what happens. Well, that didn't sound too bad. Unfortunately, what I don't see here is any gasoline in this. This isn't a good sign. All right, well, let you guys take a look here. This is the oil pressure here. So let's see if we're going to be building any or not. Yeah. Some. I honestly would have expected a little bit higher maybe, but we're turning over pretty slow, I guess. Let's get a little higher. So the good news is there is oil pressure. So that's good. Now we've got to figure out why there is no fuel pump. So I'm gonna go check the schematic and see where to test that. Might throw a meter right on there and see what we get on the pump itself. Okay, so I'm gonna reinstall the spark plugs here so we can see if we even have any spark in the system with a little starting fluid later, and to keep crap out of the engine, of course. We're just using a brass brush here to clean these up for now. Looking pretty good. So we'll pop these in. And then that way, hopefully once Matt gets here, I can get him to help me troubleshoot the fuel pump. I guess I could find the relay and jumper that and see if the pump will work, but it's hard to check anything back there with a voltmeter, because I believe the pump should come on when you turn the key on for a few seconds, but I can't be in two places at once, so I might get clever and rig something up with the camera there so I can watch myself after and see what happened. Maybe it's tough when you're working alone here. It's much easier when you got two people, that's for sure. And you gotta look at two different sides of the car at once. I'll figure it out somehow. Be nice to hear if it even will bark off on starting fluid. I do have some of that, so we could give that a try, I guess, as well. That if there's anything else we need to be looking at in terms of spark, we can look at that in the meantime too. Good enough for now. Two. One. 3 and 4. Alright, I won't bore you with cleaning the other side. I'll just go ahead and do that one. And then we'll probably look up the schematic for that relay, I guess. That's probably the best. Catch you on the other side. Okay, guys. What I've got rigged up here now is pretty simple. I've just got the leads from my meter hooked to the pump and the other end clipped to the power pack. So when I crank the power pack on, in theory the pump should run. If not, the pump's bad. So this should be a fairly quick, easy test. You hear that? It's trying. Not very well. Doesn't sound good, does it? So, some advancements were made here. I didn't record because I was a little frustrated, and I just wanted to see what the plan was going to be. So, we pulled out the fuel pump, the whole assembly. It's just you take the supply line off the filter, sorry, the high pressure line off the filter, the supply line off that dampener, which is the rubber line that failed, which is that guy on the ground. And that goes to the bottom of the tank, which is where it's dripping from here. Luckily, that big 45 millimeter bung has a fitting in it. So we were actually able to crack that and loosen it. And I'm pretty sure I've got it to the point. Yeah. There we go. So this is great news because our strainer is clean anyways. So now we can just get a fitting made here that fits the rubber line and get a rubber line the right size to go back onto the dampener, and we're set to rebuild that half. The only other issue now is we need a fuel pump, so we'll need to search something there so we can actually put some pressure to the system, because it's not gonna run like that. So time to go looking for a pump. Okay. All right, Matt. So one quick look over, all the spark plugs are on and back in and plugged in. We're gonna try some starting fluid, just a little whiff to see, because obviously we're gonna need a fuel pump. We can't go any further, so we're gonna see if it'll actually run. So you want to give it a shot, Matt? Ready? Yep. It actually sounded pretty good.
That sounded good.
High five. She's alive.
Oh,
Oh, well that's freaking awesome. You know, the only thing this doesn't prove though is that this magical octopus works, because we just put, you know, the juice right to her.
yeah.
But it's one more step gone. The computer works.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, that is good news.
Wonder if I'll burn any mice out of the exhaust.
I don't know even what came out. Did anything come out?
I don't know. No.
Maybe it was just clean. It looks like hazy back here. Something was firing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Well, yeah. Now we need a pump and yeah. I don't know. What do you figure, Matt? I think that's going to conclude today's video until we get some fuel pressure in the size of a beer can to pumpulate down the line, and maybe a filter, I guess. But other than that, oh, and that line. We got to get that line made.
This thing's going to be rolling in no time.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll catch you when we find some more supplies. Ciao for now.